If you are watching this, you have already lived this pattern. You have either been with a Capricorn, are with one now, or are one yourself. And in every case, the question is the same. The question that rises in the partner's mind, sometimes whispered to a friend, sometimes asked of a therapist, sometimes never asked at all because it feels too disloyal to put into words. The question is this: does this person love me? They never say it. They do not perform it. They do not do the things that other people in love seem to do. And yet they have not left. They are still here, and I do not know how to read what is happening. I want to settle this question tonight, because the question is the wrong question. Or rather, the question is right, but the place you are looking for the answer is wrong. You are listening for the words. You are watching for the gestures that other people make when they are in love. You are scanning the surface. The surface is where Capricorn love is least visible. And that is not a defect of the surface or a defect of the Capricorn. It is the architecture of how this sign loves. Once you understand the architecture, you stop having to ask the question. You see the answer everywhere. Most explanations of how Capricorn loves are wrong at the first step. They tell you that Capricorn is reserved, that Capricorn is slow to open, that Capricorn shows love through actions, not words. All of this is technically true, and all of it is shallow. It is true the way saying water is wet is true. It does not actually explain anything. It does not give you a tool you can use the next time you are sitting across from a Capricorn at dinner and trying to figure out whether what is happening between you is real. So let me reset the reading completely. Capricorn does not love through words because for Capricorn, words are not where love lives. This is not stoicism. This is not emotional unavailability. This is not avoidance. This is something more specific, and the only way to understand it is to understand what Capricorn thinks love actually is. Other signs treat love as a state of being, something you fall into, something you feel, something that descends on you like weather, and that you then express in word and gesture. For Capricorn, love is none of these things. For Capricorn, love is a structure built over time through specific acts of construction. The structure is the love. The acts are the love. The staying inside the structure year after year is the love. Words are not absent because Capricorn cannot say them. Words are absent because, in the Capricorn understanding, words are the wrapping paper, and the actual gift is what the wrapping is around. To spend time on the wrapping at the expense of the gift would be a category error. So Capricorn skips the wrapping and goes directly to the gift. And the partner who has been trained to expect wrapping does not realize that the gift was already given 3 days ago in an act so quiet that it did not register. This is where the misreading happens, and to show you why this is not a Capricorn flaw, but a Capricorn architecture, I want to take you to one of the oldest love stories in the Western tradition. The Greek myth of Orpheus and Eurydice is usually told as a story about love and loss. The great musician whose wife dies on her wedding day, who descends into the underworld to bring her back, who plays his lyre so beautifully that even the gods of death weep, who is granted the impossible favor of leading her back to the world of the living, and who at the last moment, just before they reach the surface, turns to look at her and loses her forever. This is the story you have heard. This is the version that gets told because it has the dramatic shape that other sign love understands. The descent, the song, the turning, the loss, the grief. all of it expressed, all of it visible, all of it on the surface, where love as feeling lives. But the older Greek versions of the myth, the ones told before the story was prettified by later poets, point to something different. In those older versions, the question is not whether Orpheus loved Eurydice. The question is, what kind of love would have actually saved her? And the answer the myth gives is uncomfortable. The love that would have saved her was not the love that made the song. It was the love that could have walked the entire ascent without turning. The love that would not have needed the visual confirmation. The love that trusted the structure of what had already been built, the agreement with the gods, the path being walked, the presence of the beloved behind him, without requiring the proof of seeing. Orpheus turned because his love was on the surface. He needed to see. He needed the visible. And the moment he turned, the structure collapsed. Capricorn love is the love that does not turn. It is the love that walks the entire ascent in silence, trusting that the person is behind, trusting the structure of the agreement, not requiring the visible confirmation. The partner of a Capricorn often interprets this not turning as not caring. He never looks at me with that look. She never tells me. He never does the romantic thing. The interpretation is exactly backward. The not turning is the love. The not needing to see is the love. The walking the entire path without flinching is the love. Other signs would have turned by now. Capricorn does not turn. That is what their love looks like. And it does not look like anything to a partner who has been trained to look for the turn. So now let me give you the 4 signals that partners miss because they are looking the wrong way. These are the 4 places where Capricorn love is actually visible. And if you know to look here, you will stop missing them. The first signal is the maintenance. Capricorn maintains the conditions of your shared life with a quietness that other signs cannot match. The bills are paid before you knew they were due. The thing you mentioned 3 months ago that you wished you had, a Capricorn quietly bought it and left it where you would find it, with no announcement. The minor crisis you would have had to deal with on Tuesday morning was already handled on Sunday night, and you do not know it was handled because there was no occasion to tell you. The maintenance is so seamless that it is invisible, and invisibility is the Capricorn signature. If you cannot see the work is being done correctly. If you can see the work, something has gone wrong. The second signal is the protection. Capricorn loves you by removing things from your path that would have caused you difficulty. This is not the showy protection of standing in front of you in a crisis. This is the structural protection of having anticipated the crisis 3 weeks before it would have arrived and adjusted the plan so that the crisis never actually reaches you. The result is that your life feels strangely smooth when you are with a Capricorn, and you do not know why. And you sometimes attribute it to your own competence. It is not your competence. It is theirs. The Capricorn has been quietly running interference for years and has never once asked for credit, because credit was never the point. The smoothness was the point. I just gave you the architecture of Capricorn love. The architecture itself is yours forever. It does not change month to month. What does change, and what most people never see mapped, is the specific timing of when this architecture is most engaged or most challenged. Each lunar cycle activates different houses of your chart, and the 7th house, the house of partnership, opens and closes its doorways on a calendar that has nothing to do with daily mood. That calendar, by week and by decade, is on Patreon. The Foundation tier maps the weekly mechanics of how partnership transits land. The Inner Circle tier breaks every window down by your specific decade: early Capricorn, mid-Capricorn, late Capricorn, because partnership transit hit different angles depending on where in the season you were born. The architecture here, the calendar on Patreon. The third signal is the staying. This one is the most important and the most undervalued. Capricorn stays through phases that would have ended other relationships, through your difficult years, through the years when you were not at your best, through the long periods when nothing visible was happening between you and a less committed partner would have begun to drift. Capricorn does not drift. Capricorn does not have a drift function. The structure is built, and the structure stays, and the staying is itself the most expensive form of love in the entire zodiac. You do not see it because it is happening at a frequency too slow to register day by day. But if you stand back and look at the years, you will see what no other sign can offer with this level of reliability: sustained presence through conditions that would have broken anyone else. The fourth signal is the small object. Capricorns leave small physical evidences of having thought about you, but the evidence is so understated that other signs would not register it as evidence at all. The cup of tea brought without being asked. The thing on your nightstand that was not there before. The folded blanket placed where you would find it. The book left open at the page you mentioned. These are not gifts in the gift-giving sense. These are anchors. The Capricorn has been thinking about you, and rather than say so, they have left a physical trace that, if you know how to read it, says more than the words would have said. Most partners do not know how to read it. They are still waiting for the words. So the question that started this video, does this person love me, has an answer. And the answer is in the 4 signals. If you are with a Capricorn and you can identify the maintenance, the protection, the staying, and the small object, the answer is yes. The yes was given a long time ago. You just did not see the form it took. There is a second question which is harder. What if you are the Capricorn and you have been giving these signals for years and your partner has not been receiving them? What do you do then? Here the answer is more complex, and I want to be honest with you. Some partners will never learn to read the signals. They will continue to want the words. For some Capricorns, this becomes the long sorrow of their love life. The feeling that they have given everything and have been received as if they have given nothing. If this is you, the work is twofold. First, you may need to accept that some translation is necessary. Not a betrayal of your nature, but a small concession to the language gap. The occasional plain word given infrequently and therefore weighing more is not an abandonment of the architecture. It is a translation note attached to the architecture. Second, and more important, you may need to choose partners who know how to read what you give. Some signs are better at this than others. Some individuals within any sign learn it. The mistake is to assume the partner will learn the language by default. Most do not. Endurance is what every Capricorn has been performing in their love life since the beginning. The endurance of giving and not being seen as having given. The endurance of staying and not being told that the staying is registered. The endurance of building a structure that the partner does not know is there, that they live inside without recognizing it, that protects them from 1,000 small storms they will never know occurred. This endurance is your love. It has always been your love. The error was ever thinking it was a defect of communication. It was always the architecture. So the frame going forward is this. If you are with a Capricorn, learn the 4 signals. Stop waiting for the words. The yes was already given. If you are a Capricorn, you do not have to change the way you love. You may need to add a small translation, but the architecture is sound. It has always been sound. It is some of the most reliable love the human heart is capable of offering, and the world has not yet learned to read it. You now understand who this person is and how this sign loves. The Patreon shows you when the partnership architecture is most engaged each month, the exact windows when Venus and the Moon activate the 7th house, when the door to deeper commitment opens, when the structural test arrives. The architecture is yours forever. The timing of its activation, by week and by decade, is what the foundation and the inner circle map for you week after week. Capricorn does not turn to look. Capricorn keeps walking, trusting you are behind. That is the love. That has always been the love. Master Alistair. Only Capricorn. Only depth.